Make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
Well, anyways, what's up, y'all? It shows the most, that's the most. JerCrispy, welcome back in the video. The step-by-step rebrand that saved iShowSpeed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow out social media. Pop on the screen is by World Build. If y'all want plenty more,
So just 3 short years ago, iShowSpeed was finished. He was banned from Twitch for crazy.
Don't interrupt me while I'm trying to talk to my viewers. What is this? Get off my line. Anyways, like I was saying, if y'all want more videos like this, run the views up, like, comment, share, and the big thing I need y'all to do for me, subscribe. That's all I need y'all to do. Subscribe, tell a friend, a family, and let's get the video started. That's all I need y'all to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely subscribe. We got a goal to hit. It's gonna be that 500. I want to hit this 500 before the end of 2026. I know we ain't gonna get it by this year, but I'm trying to at least get around that range of 400. And we damn near close. We halfway close to 400. But we gonna hit this 500 in 2026. I already know it. I know we gonna hit it. I'm manifesting that we gonna get this 1,000 too. I'm manifesting that we get 1,000 by before 2027. So let's get it.
So just 3 short years ago, iShowSpeed was finished. He was banned from Twitch for crazy threats, banned from Valorant for screaming misogynistic rants at female players that led to Sky Sports publicly cutting ties with him, to then literally setting his bedroom on fire with Pikachu fireworks. Back then, it wasn't even just a controversy. We all thought that this was career suicide. But if we fast forward to today, he has 44 million subscribers. He's breaking streaming records left and right with over 1 million concurrent viewers. Governments are crowning him their mayor. WWE is putting him in the Royal Rumble. He's became an international superstar, and he finally met his idol Ronaldo. But here's what makes no sense. He never stepped away. He never did the apology tour. He never hired a crisis management firm, and most of his apologies were half-hearted at best. So how did a multi-platform banned, universally hated 16-year-old become the most influential creator of 2025? The answer involves an international sport, a growth narrative, and a rebrand so subtle that even Speed himself and 90% of his fan base didn't realize he was doing it. What we're about to go through isn't just how iShowSpeed saved his career. It's a masterclass in how your redemption arc doesn't need to be strategic, but rather just leaning into your natural obsessions. This is how you rebuild a destroyed brand without anyone noticing that you're doing it. So welcome back, y'all. This is a video I always wanted to make, talking about how this 20-year-old kid is on top of the world after nearly destroying his empire before it was even fully built. I'm breaking this video into 5 acts: the fall, the turning point, the international pivot, the execution, and the lessons that we can take away from iShowSpeed's masterclass and rebranding. If you're new here, my name is Roy and I study personal brands for a living so that you could take the
freaking brand. What type of brand though? So we just studying what he got going on. But I feel like you could be down and do some more crazy stuff. Hey, bro, God could bless you with some nice good thing. You can mess up for that one time messing up, like Speed messed up that 1, 2, 3 times, and God blessed him. And you see how much that nigga get grown? Now Speed should be what? How old Speed is? Speed should be 18, 19. Me and Speed should be the same age. Yeah, me and Speed should be the same age. Let me look this up on my iPad real quick. Yeah, Speed should be the same age as me. The only person that's older than me is the people that I watch and the rappers that I listen to. Speed age. Yeah, me and Speed the same age. 20. Yeah. Yeah, me and Speed is 20. I'm 20, he 20.
Tactics of the world's best and apply them to your own brand or business. So with all that out the way, let's get right into the step-by-step rebrand that saved iShowSpeed. So as we go throughout this video, one thing you're going to notice about Speed is that he's went from a rolling controversy bank to now what we know as a cultural icon and an international superstar. And he essentially went from a rage-baiting streamer into the most influential content creator of 2025.
And he got the what's it called? The slideshows. Okay, dedication.
Thing about Speed is that his journey or redemption arc has involved a growth narrative, redemption obviously, resilience, and realignment with his brand. Now for Speed, he obviously had humble beginnings in the early days. He was known as Darren Watkins Jr. He then took on the persona of iShowSpeed, and he created his first YouTube channel in March 21st of 2016, but he didn't even upload his first video until December of 2017, which was the next year. His initial content focused on NBA 2K and Fortnite gameplay, struggling to find an audience in an oversaturated gaming landscape. But he did get some traction when his clips started getting pushed on TikTok due to his erratic and violent behavior towards video games, other players, his chat, and obviously his camera or desk. And if I had to describe his personality type, I would definitely say it's highly energetic, reactionary, and very expressive. And I love this photo of him remaking.
Yep, that's very much energetic. Yep. He very much energized. Him and Kai Cenat. Okay, some brothers. They could really be brothers from different mothers.
This childhood photo with some of his childhood friends back in the day, just kind of adding to that relatability with his brand. One thing I do want to note is that when he first started streaming, he was only averaging around 2 viewers back in 2017. So he did not have this massive overnight success. We did see that number jump to 10 average viewers by June of 2020, but there were obviously years in between there where he wasn't really having that much success. Another part of Speed's background that I feel is important to cover is that while he was working as a food server at a nursing home, Speed faced an ultimatum from his mother to either quit streaming or leave her home. He obviously chose streaming and moved in with his father to pursue his lifelong dream, despite his minimal success up until that point. So if you're one of those people that are on the grind right now and don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, even the world's biggest streamers, creators, artists.
That's I'm gonna tell y'all this this now. And I could go look at my channel right now on my iPad. I know dang well I only get about two and my eyes getting watery. Hold on. Can't move my face. I'm not getting emotional, y'all. No, I'm not getting emotional. I know I'm only getting about 2, 4, 8, 3, 10, 2, 2, 6, 3 views. Then and there with likes and stuff. I understand that because this is the beginning of everything. This is just the beginning, bro. A lot of people had to deal with the same way how I was doing it. So everybody was not gaining views. So like that's why I said, subscribe, run up some views, make everything go ahead and get double digits. Because I know sooner or later all this will be double digits. And when I be getting 1,000, 1,000,000, sooner or later it will. That's why I'm never rushing the process. That's why I'm always thankful for Jesus for waking me up every single day. I'm also thank you for my wonderful supporters, for everybody that's been supporting my videos, watching them, at least putting some view to it, watch it. Like some people put comments on it, some people don't. It is what it is. But sooner or later, we're just gonna have a lot of people. We're gonna have a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot. Same as, like my music too. A lot of people is not tapping in my music yet, but it's what it is. We're just in the beginning. Sooner or later, we're gonna be in the top. Everybody can make it to the top. Never. And I hope somebody clip this one day. And when I come back, like for 5 to 7 years, I look at this clip, I'll be like, damn, bro, I really came a long way. Like, real talk.
Artists, a lot of them were not overnight successes, and Speed is definitely an example of that. Now, real quick, if you like this presentation and you want to get access to it, hit the first link in the description. I'll send you over a URL for you to access it. Then you can come through here and read it for yourself or click on any of the relevant links. Been a couple of years ago. He was around 16, 17, sometimes even 15 years old when some of these controversies came up. But if we're trying to understand the step-by-step rebrand of iShowSpeed, we need to understand where he came from. So I'm not trying to dig up old things here or put any of his past things on blast, but these moments in his career are very important to how he reestablished himself as the cultural icon, international superstar that we know of him today as. So the first major controversy of Speed that I remember, this is how I even came across Speed in the first place, was this old Ash, Cash, and Aiden Ross clip where during one of
I was watching Speed back when his 2K days. Like, yeah, I was watching like Speed when he used to go 2v2s and he was cussing at niggas in 2v2s. Like, I remember them days that he was like 2v2s. He would be on Fortnite, and like I think like it was a clip, like that clip that he launched at the thing. That's when I saw him more like them, like 2K and then Fortnite, because I used to watch him like it would be. I used to like this. How I used to watch like my schedule used to be like back when I was then. I used to watch Ninja, Daquan, Myth, Speed, and then I'll go turn around and probably watch like some random clips of Fortnite. I don't know, like other people who play Fortnite.
Ross has hosted Twitch e-dating live streams. He made some crazy ass comments and basically essentially sexually harassed the participant who is Ash Cash.
If we're the last two people on Earth and we had to reproduce to make the world continue, would you reproduce with me?
No, because that means our kids will have to intertwine and then their kids. No.
Who gonna stop me?
I will.
Who's gonna stop me?
I will.
If we the last two people on Earth, who gonna stop me?
Gee.
You're not stopping me. If we the last two people on Earth, who gonna stop me?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Oh god, bro. Oh god, yeah, I see about that, but damn, bro.
So that incident did result in an immediate and permanent ban from Twitch for sexual coercion or intimidation, and this marked the beginning of a cascade of controversies that would nearly derail his career before it even truly began. The ban removed him from one of the largest streaming platforms, forcing him to rely entirely on YouTube for his success, and we will definitely revisit this because this was a little bit of a blessing in a disguise. So that moves me right onto his Riot Games or his Valorant clip where he received another ban, where on April 6th, an old Valorant clip resurfaced showing Speed telling a female to get the fuck off the fucking game and do your husband's dishes, and the clip went viral across all the gaming communities, drawing a widespread condemnation of its blatant sexism and misogyny. And this is another example of Speed kind of playing it up for the camera and losing his mind on someone, and I'm gonna play that clip real quick to give you an idea of what I'm talking about.
This streamer was permanently banned for being toxic.
Calm down.
Damn, bro, shut up, bro. I know how to play this game. I'm not a noob, all right? God
Obviously,
damn.
you don't know how to play the game. 'Cause
What?
you suck ass.
What?
Well, I mean, hold on, but we just not gonna point at the point that she said something too. I mean, hold on. Like I would have seen, yeah, I see the first one, but she actually said something back.
Is a talking to me? Is a female talking to me? Am I no? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Oh, wait, time out. Is a female talking to me right now? Is a female talking to me? Get off the game and do your husband dishes.
After this clip went viral, right?
Actually, low-key funny. I ain't lying to you. If I was in the studio, I would have sat there and laughed at this. Just low-key funny, but I was like, that's kind of hurtful, though. You don't tell that to no female, though. I mean, in general.
Staff said they perma-banned this player from Valorant and all Riot Games.
So that clip there would actually lead the Riot Games producer Sarah to permanently ban him from all Riot Game titles, including Valorant and League of Legends, which are obviously two massively popular competitive games. So already we're off to a pretty rough start in terms of Speed's career and trajectory at this moment. At this point, this is when the controversies kind of multiply. He's had a series of other multiple controversies come along where he was playing a game online and got scared and then just essentially screamed out something crazy and ridiculous.
15-year-old girls.
I do want to say that clip, I believe, was when he was around 15 or 16 years old.
At that point, saying you just don't know what you be saying half of the time, saying, and I ain't saying that you just don't say anything, because they got really people out there that be saying run up things when they get scared.
And then how I mentioned in the intro where he was finally starting to get traction in the soccer world and the international world. And then Sky Sports was made aware of the old Valorant clip where they essentially just cut all ties with him because of those misogynistic comments. And that really marked his first.
I don't know, Valley, they had some out against it. You see what was going on with that game now? Y'all see what happened to that game now? That game is dead. That game is dead. That game is dead. Ain't nobody playing that game no more. I ain't never hopped on the game. That was an Xbox game? If it's not on Xbox, I don't want to hear. I don't play PC games like that. I better be on PC. Now, when I get me a PC and stuff like that, yeah, then all the sponsors that want me to, play their game and all the people that, I got y'all with that. But, sooner or later, we're going to, we on our own the stuff right now. Let me work on this channel and let me bump up this channel up. Let me get my channel and let me get a good ass fan base, a great, amazing ass fan base, and let's bump this channel up. And so I could go work on the other channels too. It's like trying to make multiple hustles at one, but I only got two hustles: music and YouTube. That's the only thing I want to do, and that's the only two things I want to do. I want to go on tour, go to places, learn. And perform my songs. I do want to do on tour too for like YouTube and like streaming and stuff like that too. But I want to go into and let people listen to my music, get more fan base, and get a wonderful fan base. People feel me through my songs. Also, I want to be the greatest YouTuber. I want to be a person that everybody like. Yeah, man, that man was really funny, man. Like, hey, man, I'm gonna have to go watch one of his videos. Man, I just got done watching that man video. That boy funny.
First major mainstream media rejection, and then on top of all this,
I always want to be something positive. I don't want to never be nothing negative. Now, if it gets to negative, then it is what it is. It happened. It's like everybody messed up in life, so it is what it is.
At that viral moment in his bedroom where he set off the Pikachu fireworks, almost setting his house on fire. Then that leads me into the Minecraft clip where he was basically streaming to 96,000 viewers, a ton of them kids, and he was essentially getting top on Minecraft. I didn't even know you could do that. But then in August of 2022, he was swatted during a live stream and handcuffed by police, which isn't really on him, but it just shows you how chaotic his chat and his audience are. And then a big one in November of 2022, so a couple months later, he was faced accusations of a cryptocurrency pump and dump scheme that further damaged his already very controversial reputation. And we see here that Moist Critical made a video. It had 7 million views. And we also had CoffeeZilla make a video with 12 million views, kind of exposing this whole cryptocurrency scam. So one thing's for sure is that we know Speed is not a stranger to controversy. And by late 2022, we thought Speed's career was ready for the decline, right? The damage was extensive. He got permabanned off Twitch at the time. He got banned from Riot Games. Sky Sports cut all ties with him. YouTube had given him multiple strikes on his platform. And there's a ton of stuff that I'm not even mentioning, like the whole iShowSpeed thing, and just a ton of stuff that I don't
see. You should have just kept that to yourself. You know how many? That was way back two years ago. You should have just kept that to yourself. You know what you should have did? This the little notebook. You should have drawn in your notebook and just kept that to yourself. Cause you just saying that out loud now, it just made it sound weird. It made it sound weird. And I'm not like, I ain't saying that. You know how, like, and there's people defending that. Shout out to Duke Dennis, man. Defending that man. Like, real talk.
want to necessarily bring back, but just know Speed is no stranger to controversy. And if you ask me back in the day, gun to my head, did I see Speed becoming what he became today back in late 2022? I would have told you hell no. And the reason why I say that is because most creators would have given up at this point, right? But Speed was about to discover an unlikely path to redemption. We're about to get exactly into that redemption playbook. But before we do, I do want to give you a little bit of background on the changes that he made behind the scenes, or lack thereof, in his pursuit of this redemption arc. And that starts with the non-apology playbook, right? All of his apologies for the past controversies played out this way that I'm about to describe right now. Now, he had a very reactive way of apologizing. He was never really proactive in any of his apologies or any of his statements regarding things that happened in the past. Apologies like the Valorant clip were like kind of seen as half-hearted. He also made an apology to a Chinese spectator where he kind of mocked a little bit their language and some of their dialect. And on top of that, he never really publicly addressed the Ash Cash incident. From what I could find, he never really said sorry for that. And this all leads me into the deflection pattern where he used excuses about being too young, which at the time he was very young, 16 or 17 years old. He would also blame it on external factors like he was having a bad day, or he was receiving racist donations, or his chat was trying to turn up on him. And his apologies were often very short, with a quick turnaround to just going back to what he was doing before, which was content creation. And we can see that here from a quote from Speed where he said, "I wasn't having a good day, but I don't want to make that an excuse. I'm wrong." And we will see Speed in 2023 and on kind of deflect away from these apologies altogether and not revisit any past controversies, which I'm a fan of. I think once you address it in the past, you might as well just keep it in the past and keep pushing. Unless you're asked about it, then you have to make a statement. And we see here at the time too, when he was going through these controversies, that a lot of people were giving him slack, saying that you're young, but with such a large audience, you carry a lot of influence. And we also have Aiden Ross saying, "You're good, bro. You're growing, you're maturing, you're realizing things, becoming a better person, etc., etc." And that was essentially.
Hey, shout out to Aiden Ross, bro. Low key, shout out to that nigga Aiden Ross. That nigga a good mentor to fucking Speed, bro. A good ass mentor, bro. A good ass fucking friend too, bro. And Kyson that. And all the niggas he be hanging around, bro. All them dudes that he hang around. Hey man, like real talk. Shout out to them dudes, bro. They actually were a good mentor to this man.
Public sentiment as well. Now later on, he did a featured piece with Dazed, and even the person writing the article said it's hard to tell what Watkins really feels about the other incidents, talking about the past controversies, if the apologies come from a sense of regret or just straight up surrender. Now I want to talk about the Twitch ban that led him to be able to create on YouTube full time, and in my opinion, this forced him onto the winning platform. So from December 2021, he was banned from Twitch. He became YouTube's #1 streamer in 2022. So he went from 1 million to 10 million subscribers in 13 months, which is a 900% growth rate, while he was banned banned on Twitch. YouTube obviously has some advantages over Twitch, and one of them being that Twitch revenue is really only during the live streams. Yes, I believe you can have VODs, but I think that they only last for around 30 or 60 days. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But YouTube, I think VODs stay on essentially until they're taken off, which is just passive income for Speed and his team. And then on top of that, it's a 70-30 split on YouTube versus Twitch's 50-50 split, which is obviously more money per view for Speed to be able to pour it back into his streams. And then on top of that, I think that YouTube just has a bigger global reach than Twitch does, where you have 2 billion YouTube users versus 140 million on Twitch's, which is a 14x larger audience rate. And then YouTube's also great for phones, and it has a lot of translation features, which plays perfectly into Speed's IRL and travel content. I mean, just for example, his Indonesian stream had 1 million concurrent viewers. He was the first English streamer to ever do that. So right after his Twitch ban, where he streamed primarily on YouTube, he had 38.5 million hours watched in 2022, where he beat every other Twitch streamer, including Dr. Disrespect and Ludwig. And we see that graph here with Speed at the top, and then everybody else kind of on the same playing field, Dr. Disrespect and Ludwig.
So like, how do you like if you streaming on like for YouTube, right? If you're streaming off of YouTube, right? How do you like get people like to come stay on your, well, no, I mean not stay, but like, you know, cause I see people that stream on YouTube and stuff, and I said this like way back in the video. I don't know which video, but I said if y'all don't feel like making a kick account, y'all could just go on my YouTube and I just post it. I just like go live on the little live channel, you know, YouTube Live, and y'all go watch it off of there. Then watching it off of my kick, because you know it is what it is. Because some people just don't feel like making accounts, so I understand.
Here, but I love this quote from Speed where he said, YouTube is to Gen Z what television was for millennials and Gen X. Now, since then, the Twitch ban has been lifted, but Speed has stayed primarily on YouTube as his main streaming platform. And I love that because the narrative online is that YouTube doesn't want to lose Speed. When so many people currently are on the Twitch wave and trying to ride that roller coaster, Speed is staying in his own lane and kind of paving out his own platform ecosystem. Now, it wouldn't be right if I talked about how Speed navigated over all these controversies and didn't talk about his team not one time. Now, one thing that surprised me was that Speed's team didn't really change all that much from his controversies to where he is right now. His core management remained unchanged. He's still getting managed by Mason Klein, who stayed his manager all the way dating back from 2021. And I love his management philosophy, where we have a quote from him and his team saying that what I think we've done well is find people that we are obsessed with, that we think are remarkably talented, and allow them to be and try to protect them. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of Speed's rebrand, where he had his unexpected pivot into international waters with his soccer or football transition. And this all happened organically when in June of 2022, a fan donated asking him his favorite soccer player, and I'll just play the clip here with Speed's response.
Bradley donated £1.79 through Super Chat. What soccer football team do you support?
Cristiano Ronaldo, Suey. Simple as that, bro.
Now,
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Now, little did we know that this obsession with Ronaldo would change everything for Speed. And here's the timeline of events that happened right after that donation. So Speed's reply actually went viral as a meme. He would then go on to watch his first soccer match ever with the Champions League final. He then released a song called Ronaldo 5.5 months before the World Cup started. We see here that song has 37 million plays, so it was actually pretty big at the time. He then went on to drop a World Cup song, which was 16 days before the tournament started, and that one's even bigger, sitting at around 190 million views. And all this really happened 6 months before.
Oh yeah, what that song called? It was like World Cup, World Cup, boom, 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 boom. I was like, I don't know, some song. I ain't lying to you. And what was that song that something Illuminati react to? Oh yeah, God is good. I heard that, and then it was at the end when he made that. He was making that noise. I was like. I was like, you know what? Just stop, Speed. You're going to scare somebody with that one day.
First match in the World Cup. So he really caught the wave as the World Cup was starting to get talked about more and more and more in the States. He kind of rode that wave into relevancy and like kind of trend jacked a little bit. His World Cup song has 167 million views. Like I talked about, he charted in 6 countries. It was used 1 million plus times on TikTok shorts and reels. And it was used 1 million plus times on TikTok shorts and reels. And it became essentially like the soundtrack of the tournament online, like on an Instagram, TikTok basis. And the great thing about this whole international pivot and this whole football, soccer movement that Speed went under was that he could have pivoted back to gaming, which he definitely does. He still games and whatnot, but he never really left soccer or football after this massive blow up. It still is his prominent identity through 2025, through today. He still relies heavily on sports, on soccer.
Yeah, because he was a sports type of person, but he loved playing games and he loved was doing things and he loved was doing that. If you like, y'all really go way back in the video that I watched, like I think it's either had to be 2 or 3 months ago. That he said if he never made it on YouTube, he was just gonna be a regular kid. And you know, thank Jesus that man made it, man.
On football, whatever you want to call it, he still relies heavily on that. Now, all this led to him meeting his hero, which was another viral moment. 25 million views here, where he finally met Ronaldo. So Speed met Ronaldo in Lisbon after Portugal's 3-0 win over Bosnia. Speed fell to his knees and showed Ronaldo his tattoo of the player celebration and was obviously very visibly emotional. To me, in my eyes, this showed a crescendo or an evolution for the audience and Speed himself. Hard work, a burning desire, and staying busy can get you very far in life. And this moment for the audience and for Speed kind of showed us that, like, if you just work hard, you talk things into existence, shit will start to come back for you. And this moment was obviously viral and massive online, where you had 150 million likes on X, 26 million likes on TikTok. And in August of 2023, he hit 20 million subscribers just a couple of days or weeks after this. And speaking with all that, this has really led him into his content transformation, where he has officially, in my opinion, found his lane. And his content transformation is essentially the international travel superstar. Everywhere he goes on an international scale, it's just massive. People are flooding the streets, trying to go up to him, trying to talk to him, trying to get in on the stream. And we see that with his numbers here. His viewership comparison between South America, Southeast Asia, and his Euro trip. You can see the stats on the screen here. He streamed for 17 days in South America. He streamed 15 days in Southeast Asia and 33 days in his Europe or his Euro tour. And all of these streams were massive, right? 6 million hours watched on the Euro tour, 10 million on the Southeast Asia tour, and around 5 million on the South America tour. And the timeline of that whole event was that he had Europe in 2022, Southeast Asia in 2023, and he just did an Australia tour in 2024, which was last year. You see some of these numbers for these VODs with the Euro tour doing 3 million, 6 million in Norway, 7 million views in Singapore, 8 million in the Philippines, 25 million in Indonesia. That was where he set that record for 1 million concurrent viewers. I mean, there's no denying just how big of an international superstar Speed is. And I found a great article kind of displaying how Speed has become a tourism influencer and how countries are paying top dollar to ensure that they're on Speed's itinerary. For example, during Speed's stop in Turkey, the creator drew roughly 437,000 concurrent viewers on YouTube and 48,000 on Twitch, making him the most watched live stream creator simultaneously on both platforms. Places like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia have paid him roughly 35,000 each stop. And these payments, which are obviously taxpayer funds, have gone through countries' official tourism offices. So these countries are paying big bucks for Speed and his team to come through and kind of illuminate just how much their cities and their countries have to offer. So going back to that timeline, the first Euro tour gave him a sense of what his new content would look like. And once he saw that that was a hit, he was off to the races. And again, I want to go back to a lot of the times people quit before they find what content actually works for them and their audience. What I need people to understand is that you need to keep iterating until you find something that sticks, and then again, double down. If you want to learn more about doubling down,
I feel like if you stay consistent, and I've been preaching about this for a little minute. I've been saying this about, I feel like if you stay down, you still keep on the grind, people gonna notice who you is. Sooner or later, people gonna know what you did, all your effort, your time, your being, your everything. I feel like, I feel like everything is gonna pay off at a perfect timing. It might not be now, it might not be later, but sooner or later down this line, everybody gonna know who I am. Sooner or later, They gonna know who I am.
Check out the Kai Cenat personal brand video that I just did last video. And don't get me wrong, this was not no simple undertaking. He went from a bedroom streamer to becoming a mobile broadcast empire, where we see his original setup here with this old ass HP laptop and this like 30-inch TV that he was streaming off of, probably around $300-$500 setup, to where now he has his cameraman. I believe that this is Slips, where he has a $100K home studio at his house, but he has a $200K plus mobile IRL setup with these TVU backpacks, Starlink, and a production bus, multiple people on his production team. But this is a very broad estimate. But when he started off with that $300 to $500 setup, he now has around 200, 300, 400,000 in equipment or just production cost period. I'm sure it's a way higher number than that, which is a 600x increase in production investment. And the reason why I'm putting this here is because some people think that they need this initial 300,000 to get set up with IRL streaming or whatever it is. Like, nah, just at the end of the day, whatever it is that you got on hand to use to get started, that's what you should be using. When Speed was streaming from a fucking HP laptop, $200, $300 laptop, you think that he was sitting here saying, damn, bro, I ain't got 300 bands to start some. No, he didn't. He just got ahead and went going. And now this brings me.
Hey, and that's what I said. I might not have a PC and I might not have that much money on me right now. And I might got a little thing there and there. But I promise you, I'm gonna make this thing work. I'm gonna accomplish my dreams. Even if the thing could be the most crappiest, decent quality. As long as I get a few people to watch my stuff and other few people join and they watch my other stuff, I feel some type of way about that. That stuff that really enjoys my shit every time, and it make me it turn me up. It turn me up when I see people watching my stuff. It does. It make me want to go make more content, more and more and more and more.
To his US tour, which literally just happened a few months ago from the time of this recording. I have another article here that's talking about kind of how Speed has taken on this touring and used it as a growth hack, where the article goes on to say streaming creator Darren, or iShowSpeed, is 11 days into his 24-hour a day, 35-day stream across America, and he's averaging around 5 million viewers per day on YouTube and 60K views on Twitch. Speed has gained 4.9 million views and 400K concurrent viewers during his tour through Latin America in January, with tours through China, Southeast Asia, and Europe under his belt. Speed is making a compelling case for daily events as a growth leveler. And Speed Does America's tour is represented one of the most ambitious streaming projects ever attempted, with a 35-day, 24/7 live stream tour.
And don't forget, bro, that man is sponsored by Dick's Sports. Bro, that dude got his own episodes. Like, that's crazy.
25 states across America. And this is obviously leading to a ton of chaos, where people are swarming him by the thousands at every stop that he goes to. He hit over 800,000 concurrent viewers during a spontaneous basketball game in New York City, where he challenged random locals. This all culminated into his grand finale, where he was at the LA Memorial Coliseum with Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian. And as a sum up of the whole US tour, he had 840 hours streamed and across all platforms had 400 million plus views. And now in 2025, Speed is obviously recognized as one of, if not the GOAT. He's won Streamer of the Year for Best IRL Streamer and Best International Streamer at the 2024 awards. He raced an Olympic sprinter in Noah Lyles. This post here got 4 million likes. No, he didn't win, but this just kind of shows you how much weight.
No, I ain't lying to you. Speed would have almost beat this dude. And like, they would have saw that here. Well, if Noah Lyles get beat by Speed, then Speed could definitely go to the Olympics. Like, I know dude Noah Lyles was about to be this close, about to get whooped. If they run it back one more time, Speed would have got him.
Much clout that Speed carries now to be able to race an Olympic sprinter. And back in November 2024, Complex Networks ranked him as the #1 in the best streamers right now, which is a stunning reversal from his controversial past just 2 years earlier. And in January 2025, he was declared an honorary mayor of Lima, Peru for 1 hour and was named ambassador of Lima, again further making his evolution into the cultural international ambassador status for all these different countries and all these different cultures. And one thing that stayed consistent with Speed throughout this whole journey, from the controversies all the way up to his point now, kind of maturing into the young adult that he is now, is his authenticity. He even shared that same sentiment on stage with Mr. Beast, and I'll play that clip for y'all now.
As a 15-year-old kid, you know, I was always obsessed with streaming, and I always had this character to me, these tweaks. I was always athletic, I was funny, that and third. So I started streaming. And once I started streaming, you know, I felt like what I always kept something like towards me. I always like kept the authenticity. I always put authenticity over virality, because when you stay to yourself and stay grounded to yourself, you can get way more farther, and your mental is way better, you know, once you just stay true to yourself. So at stream, and as I just kept going, kept growing, you know, I just stayed true to myself, you know, grew as a person, grew as a individual, and
Okay.
We are on our way to St. Dennis 2.0.
They say they see a twinkle in my eye. Do you see a twinkle?
The people here are complicated, and I love them.
You're my captive. Guess I'll have to lick my way out.
Thinking about playing D&D online? Here are 3 things you need to know. 1. Know.
And I'm here now, you know, so it's great to be here, talking about here at Joy Form, you know?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, the way he was saying authenticity was killing me, bro. Like that's the reason why we love Speeds, because it's authentic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I won't lie, that shit is actually hilarious. So now, what's some of the lessons that we could take away from Speed's journey? And to me, it's all about him finding his lane and his new audience. So Speed's soccer fandom or football fandom attracted a global non-gaming first audience, unfamiliar with his controversial past. So by pivoting to soccer during the World Cup, he accessed billions of fans who had never heard of his gaming controversies. This audience diversification, insulated from his past mistakes, allowed him to rebuild his brand with a clean slate among sports fans worldwide. So finding a completely different demographic is a major key to overcoming a controversial past. In other words, don't let your past become your future. If you need to find a whole new audience or a whole new lane, definitely rebrand yourself in that way to align yourself with what you want to become in the future. And one thing I want to talk about that I don't hear a lot of people talk about is the personal brand archetype of Speed. He is definitely the jester archetype, which we see right here on the brand archetype wheel. He's playful, fun-loving, pleasurable, positive, humorous, optimistic, and very inclusive, and he fits perfectly into that entertainment brand archetype. And take a second to kind of look through some of these and find out which one you are. And this brand archetype, the jester archetype, gives him a permission to fail, to be foolish, to be real. The jester archetype creates permission for audiences to experience joy without judgment. When Speed fails during streams, screams in horror games, or shows unfiltered emotion, he activates that jester archetype pattern in viewers' collective unconscious, building parasocial bonds that transcend regular logic. And research shows that 95% of purchasing decisions happen subconsciously where these archetypes operate. Speed's authentic embodiment of the jester creates instinctive connection.
All right, so basically, that was you know, that was iShowSpeed and how he, you know, successfully was down. He was down and he got back. He was, everybody wanted to clown on this man. Now everybody want to be with this guy. Anywho, see y'all when I see y'all. Lay y'all to the bottom of my heart. We're on the road to 500 and I'm out.